Welcome back to reviewing here again our Dead by Daylight video. This time we're not playing as Michael, and nor this is just from a previous video, but I'm going to talk about all the killer perks, starting with the first one, which is Beast of Prey. Honestly, I think it's a little too hard to get. I think what could be is that you get the effect at Blood Tier 1, but if you go to Blood Tier 2, you get it, and then after you exit that, it lingers for a few seconds. I think that'd make it more usable. That's what I think, at least. Although it is possible they won't do it. It's fine how it is, really. Maybe more bullet points too, and that make it more usable. Bitter Murmur, just a great perk. Allows you to see the survivors. Pretty good. Doesn't need a change at all. Perfect. The same with this one. It's perfect. Doesn't need a change. Also, this one doesn't really need a change. It's pretty much perfect how it is. Distressing, I think it needs a buff, if I'm fully honest. I think it needs to be 30% at max. And the only reason I say that is because if you have this perk on, you're trying to get a secondary power with your terror radius, and 26 isn't much. Like, with that best killer, which is, what is it? It's I think the highest is like I forget his name, the new one. I don't know, but it's not the best. 26%. It only adds like 3 to 4 meters sometimes, or I think it's like 5 maybe at most. I'm not sure exactly, but it's not the best. Dying Light, great perk, doesn't need to change, especially with how they've done it now, pre-balanced. Saying Fear Monular doesn't need to change. It's a little annoying occasionally, but I'm talking as survivor and killer, but it's pretty balanced. Grim Embrace, I think, needs a buff, and it needs a buff in either one of two things. A, they keep everything except for you have to reach 3 tokens, or B, you increase the time of the blocks to like 60 seconds or 50 seconds. Because 40 seconds is not super long. In the order of sessions, like a cool bonus, but 4 tokens is really hard to do. And I say, most of the time they're on the last generator, and that's why I hooked all the servers are hooked for the first time. But sometimes it goes into the death thing, and then you hook them for the first time. So it's a little annoying to get, but it is pretty balanced otherwise. No XK stats. With the way they did it now, it's pretty balanced. The only thing I hate about it, and I'm talking as a killer standpoint, is that people complain about this way too much. It is supposed to be overpowered perk. That's the point. And that all survivors complain about it is annoying. The only thing I would really change about this is that it alerts all survivors once it gets a power, not once you hit a survivor and they know. Because I think that'd make it more fair, because it'll change how the survivors play. If they don't change it, I think it's fine. Planento also balanced, doesn't need to change. I don't think I've ever seen anyone get 5 hex totems, but if you do, you earn that 100%. That's 100% on you, and you earn it. So I don't think it needs to be changed. Jolt, again, pre-balanced, doesn't need to change. Play with your food. Let's see. Yeah, this is balanced. Doesn't need to change either. No. Save the best for last. Let's see. Decrease this little attack cooldown 8 tokens. Hit your social attack, lose 2. Yeah, this seems pretty balanced, especially at the end there. Switch with balance too. Personally, if it was me, I'd get more blood points for this too to make people use it. But I've seen some people use that. I haven't used it. It's not that bad of a perk. This is probably the first perk. This is the first perk which I would say they have to nerf. I think it should go down to 12 per progress lost. This perk is insanely overpowered right now, and it will stay overpowered. 15 is just too big. If you look at Jolt, that's 8, and this should be a little more, so I think 12 is a fair number for it. Now I put it at 12, and that's why I say we balance it. Scattered Hope balance doesn't need to change. It's just like you have it with other ones like Penento. Unrelenting, yeah, this balanced. Doesn't need to change either. It's enough. This is also balanced how they nerfed the range. Now it's balanced. Thrill the Hunt, I believe it's 10% for each token at the backstage. It needs to be 20. No, it needs to be 30% blood points in the hunter category for this, at least. This is just no one uses it because there's no real like use to using it. Like cleansing speed by 10% isn't a lot at all. What I would do is quite simple. Increase for 100% increase blood points. They need to do that. Secondly, I would also increase it to keep them even, and I'd keep them at 30 and 30. And I think that's enough. That might be useful. But even then, I think it might need just a rework. Like the more chases you win, you get a token, and each token decreases it by 10%. I think that would also be cool. I've seen people use this. It goes down to 2 seconds. It's an interesting perk. It works with some killers, and I don't think it's a bad perk at all. I think it's just very situational, and I think because it's situational, that's why you don't see it too much. But I do see it maybe once every 20 or so games, so it's enough out of like the hundreds of perks, or I think it's like a 200 or something. On grass also balanced. It goes 75. It goes up to 10. No, not 10. Maybe it's 12%. So it's pretty balanced. Doesn't need to change. This needs a nerf. It needs to become a hex. This thing is insanely powerful, and if Survivor can't get rid of this hex totem, which it should be, then it's going to be the most broken thing because it increases the time from hemorrhage, but also makes hemorrhage, which makes you lose it all. And Mangle too is pretty bad because it increases it. So it needs to have a huge nerf. I think if they just made it a totem and keep everything the same, it'd be balanced. But right now, I see this way too often, and it's way too annoying to get rid of. The only reason why I think they haven't nerfed it yet is because it's a great counter for boons, but it's still broken. Nurse's calling. Its max range is, I want to say 32 meters, or actually maybe it's 28 meters. That sounds right. 28 meters, so it's pretty balanced. This is also balanced. It goes up to 12, I think, too. So it's balanced. Terrace also 12 meters, pretty good. That's a one you put with distressing. Bloodhound, increase. Yeah, this is like a tracking perk. I doubt there's nothing you do to make this. I mean, you even increase the time to 3-4 seconds, and I still doubt that many people would put this on, just because there's way better perks to put on. This doesn't need to be changed, but you could increase the time. I don't know what the max time is. It probably goes to 4, but I don't know how good this perk will be because it's not very useful. You could get survivors other ways. Brutal strength 100%, a great thing. 10, I think it goes to 20% faster, or maybe it's 30%. It's really fast. You can feel it. It doesn't need to be changed. This one needs to be changed, but it's not a change you think. It needs its colors changed. And it needs to be a color that you can see. Like a bright color, maybe red. Because yellow just blends in with a lot. I think it's white, so you can't actually ever tell which is which half the time, especially when you just glance around. So it needs a buff in its color. This is an interesting one. I don't think it needs a nerf. I don't. I think it's fine how it is. I would say it's fine how it is. Hangman's Trick needs a buff. It needs its range increase. I think I think it goes to 2.5 and 3 meters. I think. It needs to go to like maybe 5 meters, 8 meters, because the only reason you put this on is if you see a guy with like a toolbox or Jake maybe, but even then, it's not useful when a survivor begins sabotaging a hook, because it only lasts like a few seconds. It's not good when you're carrying and you see a survivor about to sabotage it. It's not super useful. The Fire Hope, how it is right now, doesn't need to change. It's fine. It's pretty fine. Hunter Slot by, it's balanced how it is. I think it's balanced. Doesn't need a nerf or a change at all. Ruin doesn't need to change either. Yeah, it doesn't need to change. I think it's fine. Yeah, it's fine how it is. The third seal, also doesn't really need a change. If more people used it, then maybe, but as to the moment, no, it doesn't need a change. Because you can just get rid of the hex. That's why I think hemorrhage needs to be like this. Iron Maiden doesn't need to change. Find how it is. Definitely needs to happen. Lightboard also fine. Doesn't need to change. Magrit. Um, it's an interesting one. I don't think it needs to change. I think it's just very situational, and because of that, very few will use it. I think I see it twice. Major choice. Oh, this is a great perk. Doesn't need to change. It's actually quite balanced. I'm surprised how balanced it is because it does make them exposed, but they also usually run away anyway. Uh, this one's useless. I'll just say that right now. Perfectly useless. Doesn't like it needs a huge buff, and honestly, I mean, perfectly honest, no idea how to buff it. No idea whatsoever. I mean, you could like see auras within like a 5 meter range, possibly. That could stop people from like going that way to the wall, so you fall and then they switch. So you see the switch and you move. That could help a little bit, and I think that's what they could do. Just very limited range. This doesn't. This wait, yeah. This what does need to change. This has no other use. It goes up to 15, but there's another one that does 12. So this was actually surprisingly quite useless. I would actually change this. Um, how I change this is interesting. I don't know exactly what to do. Comment down below what you think to change this to. It's really a bad perk to change, but I have no idea how. This is fine, balanced. Again, this actually needs a slight buff. It needs to be, let's see. The previous frequency would be 25, 50, 75. And the breathing, it should be, I would say, 15, 20. No, that's not right. No, it should be 15, 25, 35 louder. And I think that would balance it out. Surveillance, this doesn't need a change, for the sole fact that you can hear noises at additional 8 meters. So, for that reason only, besides maybe changing the color, it's fine, it doesn't need a change. This is also balanced, doesn't need a change, perfectly fine. Also balance. Wait, actually, this does need a slight buff. It needs to go it needs to be 2%, 3%, 4%, and that would make it much faster and much more used. Right now, it's kind of useless. Tinkler doesn't need a change. It's fine how it is. It happens 5 times during a match. Not so much that survivors are angry, but fast enough times that the killer is happy. And Unlearning Present just needs a slight change. And I think it needs to be 20% in the terror radius. But besides that, it's fine. So now let's go and look at the perks I don't have, starting with him. This one's fine, doesn't need change, perfectly balanced. This one needs a nerf. 20 meters is way too far. You can see it pretty far away. If you have this one and what's it called? The one from the cable, which we'll get to, this can be overpowered. It needs to go down to like 12 meters. I'd say 8, 10, 12, and that'd be better. Let's see, what's this one? Yeah, this is fine, balanced. It's not super long, but long enough that's useful. Alright. This is also balanced. It's a little, I don't think it happens enough, but maybe make it 18 seconds at the least, and maybe that'll make it a little more use, but it's also not a bad perk at all. Yeah, I think it's pretty balanced. We search a lot, or actually, no, I read that wrong. It needs to be the 24, 25 seconds. Alright, this one needs a nerf. It needs to, 8 meters is too much. I'd make it 5. I think that's more balanced, because that means any survivor, like, right next to it gets revealed, but anyone that's, like, somewhat close by won't. Feeling action, yeah, this is fine. It's balanced. It's pretty fine and doesn't really need a change. This is balanced, doesn't need a change. Also balanced, doesn't need a change. Again, this one, I don't know about this one. I think right now it's balanced, so I would say it's balanced, doesn't need a change. So that's a pretty quick one. This one's also pretty good. I think it doesn't need a change either. I think it's enough. yeah, this one's fine. Doesn't need to change. It's long enough. Plaything also doesn't need to change. It's perfectly fine. Yeah. Scorcho Gift of Pain. Yeah, this is also fine. Uh, yeah, this is fine and perfectly alright. It's a big enough dirt spell, so it's downside because of the mangle. But see, the other one doesn't have a downside. This one does. Star Choice all over Sphere. Yeah, this is a great perk. Doesn't even change at all. Nice that it sounds long, but it's fine. Perfectly fine. It's okay to use. Uh, this one I think is a little broken. And I'll tell you why. I think get rid of 10 seconds for Oblivious Cities effect, 20, and then increase its trigger once every 40 seconds. So basically switch 10 seconds around. And I think that'd make it much, much better. And it won't have too much of an impact on a nerf. Interesting to say every effective to exclude the temporary progressors. For 25 seconds, that's pushing it. I'll say that. It's pushing it, but I do think this one is balanced. It's close to being overpowered, but 25 sprite just enough to make it not. This one's balanced. Yeah, nothing really need to be said. It doesn't happen too much, but yeah, it's balanced. How they reworked this one a bit, and now it's much, much better. Yeah. It's also, it's not the worst thing, so I'd say it's pretty balanced. You can add it with others too. Yeah, this is fine. Perfect perk, doesn't need to change. Honestly, probably one of the best reasons to get this killer, so it's balanced, doesn't need to change. I think this range, well, 6-4 is long. No, I think this is balanced. It's just a weird one to have on. But it's balanced. Yeah, I would say it's balanced. This one's also balanced. 8 seconds. Yeah, this is pretty balanced. Cooldown's enough. It happens. Yeah, because that'd be about one chase in half, so it's fine. See, this one needs. This one needs a buff. Where is it wide? I think this needs to be 80, 90, 100. That'd be useful, or it'd be useful, so that needs a buff. $80 cool. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I think this balance. It's pushing it. Oh, man, maybe 60 seconds is too much. Alright, maybe make it 55 seconds. Like, I think that 5 seconds wouldn't matter. Okay, this is also a balanced one. Yeah. I think it's pretty balanced. Doesn't need to change. Undying, 4 meters of 8 to other. This is also about. See, this one has 4 meters. And totems don't spawn that much. Lockers spawn a lot. In almost every map. Huge. Like, if you get, the Boneyard, or if you get, was it the meat plant? There's almost, like, a locker with an 8 meters almost every gen. So you can open it and find where survivors are easily. This one doesn't need a perk, nerf, but the other one does. Now, this is an interesting one. I think this needs a nerf. Not because no one uses it, just because of time. I'd make it 70 seconds. I think that'd be more balanced. After dash, you Jerry, cut tilt your such risky or survivor. Oh yeah, this is balanced. Yeah. It's pretty good. It sounds good too. Mmm. Alright, that's her the police suspect for 8 years. Huh. Now this is an interesting one. How do you get rid of it? 60 seconds? I think this is balanced. It's tough to say. Tell me what you guys think. I think this is balanced though. It doesn't need to change. I know his. All of his are great already. Yeah, this one's balanced. It's just very situational. Also, balance doesn't need change, and this is also balanced. Doesn't need a change at all. This is a weird one, but it is balanced, so it's fine. This one's also balanced. See, he only lasts a short while. That's why the totem is just so overpowered. This is an interesting one. Huh, this is balanced. It's a very interesting one, too. This one seems weird. I don't think I would ever use it just because of how I play Killer. But I definitely do think this is a balanced perk. Pick up strat, stop being paired. Yeah, this one's balanced. It doesn't last that long. Yeah, pre-balanced. When you're such a project, to let the break support the creature. This one needs a buff. There's two things you could do with this. One, do a complete rework and redo the whole thing, and that would be whatever they want. Or B, increase the terror radius that's getting reducted by 8 meters. And you need it big, otherwise no one will use it. Well, maybe actually... okay, maybe 5 meters and get a maximum of 5 tokens. Because I just read the bottom part too. And then I think it's balanced. Oh, this one's balanced. It's really an interesting one too. I see a lot of people using it. I personally wouldn't, but it's balanced. This is an interesting one. This is a great one to run with other perks, so I think this one's actually balanced. 6 seconds is enough. Subside when anywhere to transfers to the session. That is interesting. Very interesting. I actually think this is balanced. I think that's a great perk to use. I have to wait till somebody pallet. Oh, yeah, this is balanced. Yeah. 2 bounces, yeah, that's pretty balanced. This is a balanced one too. It doesn't happen that much, but it is balanced. I think what it should do, actually I would buff this. I'd make it reveal its aura to survivors within, I would say, the same amount of meters as Retribution, no, Plaything. And that way survivors would try to cleanse it. This is a balanced one, very interesting one. I like it. It's balanced. This is an interesting one. With the right loadout, I think it's balanced, so I'd keep it how it is. Oh, 16 seconds isn't a lot. Yeah, I guess it's fine. Oh yeah, this one's actually very good. And I'd actually say... I think it's balanced. It's tough to say. It's insanely hard to get those skill checks, but I do think it's balanced. Yeah, this is balanced too, insanely good, and it doesn't happen too much, so. Although, yeah, I think it's balanced. It requires you going to a gen right away, so yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, this is balanced. You can stack with others. Pretty balanced. This is interesting. Although 16 isn't much. Yeah, I think this is balanced. It's super long time. Yeah, it's balanced. This is also pretty balanced and doesn't need change. These are good perks. Uh, yeah, this is balanced. I've seen it a few times. It's not that bad perk. Actually, I've seen it a lot more recently, so I think they buffed it. But yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, this is the one. If you pair that up with the I forgot his name now. Whatever the killer I said, 40 meters from the hook, and then there's 20 meters from the hook. That means 20 meters for you to be safe in, and that is not just insanely powerful, but insanely overpowered. And I don't think this one needs a buff or a nerf. I think the other one needs a nerf. This one also has come to see the light of day too, a lot, and I think it's pretty balanced now. Yeah, this is a great one. Um, yeah, there's not much you can do with this, but maybe you know what? I'd buff it. I add a linger effect for 3 seconds or 4 seconds. No, 3 seconds. That's what I would do. Yeah, see, this one's pretty good, pretty balanced. It's a weird perk, but it's good. Oh yeah, overcharge. Yeah, pretty good perk. I've seen it a lot. People a lot like it. It's pretty good. Oh, so I guess that's all the killers, huh? Oh, this side. Yep. All right. So those are the killer perks and all the ones I think needs changes, etc. So if you guys have any different opinions, just comment down below, and I'll read them and shout you out too if you want it. So without for any wasting more time, because it is a long video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see all you guys in the next one.